Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. When you grow your own food, you find yourself out harvesting quite a lot. And once again, I thought maybe you'd like to come with me to see what I can gather. To start with, we're here at my heartleaf fig tree, which has been providing quite a few figs. This one here isn't quite soft enough to touch, so that's not ready. But this one here just gives a little bit when you squeeze it, not being too hard. So I think this one's ready to go. When they're ready, they just pull off really easily. So that'll be a bit of a snack for me today. These Jerusalem artichoke plants have been doing a great job of shading my chicken coop, which is behind it there. But because we've had really dry conditions this year, and I never watered them, they have dried out and a number of them have just fallen over. And if you have a look there, you can see lots of the artichokes, and you can see there's some remaining in the ground here as well. So I might just pick a few of those. They look beautiful. I'm just going to roast these up, but I have also roasted them and made a lovely roast artichoke soup. And I might just snap off some of these. I usually only harvest the artichokes as I need them because they kind of keep quite well under the ground, and any that I don't harvest, of course, will just grow again next year. So I think that's all I need today. Just coming in from the pasture area, I've got my rhubarb here. I've recently put some chicken manure around these plants and a bit of wood chip, and they've really enjoyed that extra attention, and I'm getting some really lovely growth coming from them. Now you just kind of snap it off down the bottom and it pulls away like that. And that's a really lovely stalk of rhubarb. Usually when I'm harvesting my rhubarb, I'll just snap off the leaves and use that to mulch around the plant. And I'll be able to stew those up with some apples I've got. In my front garden now, this is my glass gem corn that have been growing for some time now. With such a dry summer, these plants just dried out a bit too much. The cobs haven't developed that well, and I doubt whether I'll get many that are really great. Now, glass gem corn is more a popping corn. Well, I think you could probably use it for a flour, but it's certainly not a sweet corn, one you'd kind of just boil up and eat. I do like to grow up because I just love opening them up and seeing what they look like. So I'm just going to harvest a couple of the cobs today, just so we can see how it's all going. They vary from blue to pinks and purples. And what I'll do, I'll take that inside and I'll dry that out, and I use it as a popping corn, which I flavour in a savoury way with some of my onion salt, paprika, some pepper, and a little bit of olive oil, and it's really lovely as a snack. I'll just grab another one here. This one has dried out a bit. There's some lavender colours in that one. Now you could let these all dry out on your corn stalks. I do find I have a problem with mice and birds getting in and eating them, so I tend to harvest them all and dry them off inside. I might just have a sneak peek at a couple more. Okay, seems like we've got mostly blue ones this year. Moving along from the corn, I do need some carrots, so I'm going to grab some of those. Just have to be careful because they do snap off. There's one. Great. That should be enough for today. This is one of my eggplants that has been really prolific. These I just didn't harvest because I didn't really need it. So they're going to be thrown into the compost. I find that chickens don't really eat them. But there's still plenty of really beautiful eggplants on these plants. These plants will be finishing soon with the weather starting to cool. So I'm going to try and use them all up. Over in my cucumber patch now, I've had a never-ending supply of cucumbers all summer. So my plants have done really well. I've still got these long green cucumbers. And I've got the Lebanese cucumber as well, which has really grown beautifully. There's a couple more just hanging over there too. And another one hiding here. I'll just grab this guy. And looks like I'll be making a bit more relish. Next to me here is my snow peas, which has been giving me just a really small crop of snow peas, which is perfect just for me. So another lovely crop of snow peas. Now I've still got zucchinis coming. This is from a later planting than my bigger plants, and I do that to extend my zucchini harvest. Last year I think I was still getting zucchini in May, so I hope that this plant will keep going till then as well. These are my two older zucchini plants. And I'm growing that zucchini for the seed. But over here, I obviously forgot about this plant for a little while because this has got huge. So I'll take that now. Just here, in amongst this mess of plants, I reseeded my borlotti beans. I did have a whole crop growing here, which I've used for dried beans, but I put some in the ground just to see if I'll get a second crop. These are going to be perfect as a green bean. Now let's see what other beans I can find. On this trellis here, I've got 3 different varieties of beans. The one that's producing mostly at the moment is my purple variety. It's, I think, a Purple King. So I'm going to harvest those. I've still got maybe just a few of the rattlesnake beans, and down the end I have some lazy housewife. So I'm going to gather up what I can and see if I can make a meal out of it. There's not too many left actually. In my greenhouse now, I've got some chilies that are finally starting to redden up. This is what I want to see. This is my chili plant that's in its 2nd growing year that I just left to overwinter in my greenhouse. And thankfully I did, because I'm not getting red chilies anywhere else at the moment. Nice to have that splash of colour in the basket. I've still got plenty of tomatoes ripening on my vines. Look at that one. I'm not doing a full tomato harvest today because I'd have to deal with them. I'll just grab enough for a salad for lunch. And I might just grab a sprig of basil while I'm here to go with those tomatoes. There's still plenty of my Roma tomatoes to be harvested, so when I've got time to be making some sauce or relish or some more chutney, I might just come back out and grab them. Just here in part of the wild end of my vegetable garden, I left a beetroot to go to seed, and as a result there's lots of beetroot hiding in this spot. In this little section here are some beetroot self-seeded, so I'll just grab those out and we'll see how they are. Hopefully they're not too woody and old, but that looks perfect. This is my pumpkin cantaloupe patch. I thought I'd just show you what's hiding in amongst here. I've got one cantaloupe in there that's not quite ready, and oh no. I think the mice have decided that that one's ready to go, so I might actually grab that and stop them eating any more. And this cantaloupe here is ready as well. I wasn't going to pick it today, but I think I will. Actually, just having a look at this cantaloupe, that has all dried off, so I reckon that's good to take out with us today too. This is the end of my Queensland blue pumpkin. The start of the plant is where that stick is. Now most of the plant has died off, and I'm going to actually harvest this pumpkin. I'm concerned if I leave it too much longer, the mice will get to it. So I'm just going to snip it off at each side, and I'll take that beautiful pumpkin in. Here we go, I'll put it with my stash. Now, all I want to do is fill this little basket with salad greens for lunch. I've got some beetroot growing in here, so I'm just going to take a few of the leaves because they are great in a salad. I've also got this young Swiss chard, and some of the little leaves in the middle will be perfect also. Just grab a couple of little beetroot leaves from these plants. This tatsoi plant is just growing great. It's only been in for 3 or 4 weeks. And what I like to do with these, rather than harvest the whole lot, I just pinch out a few little leaves and add them to a salad or stir fry. Already some of the lettuce in this garden bed are big enough that I can pinch a couple of leaves from. So I'm going to do that, and I'll also grab some of these lovely sorrel leaves. They give a bit of a lemony flavour in your salad. Just a few baby spinach leaves. And I'm also just going to pinch a few snow pea shoots as well. Over here next to my tomatoes, I've got some nasturtium that have just started to grow up, and in a salad I like the small leaves. I'm not so keen on the big leaves because they are quite peppery. So I find just a little handful like that is great and not overpowering. There you go, that's why I like nasturtium. In this area of the garden I did leave some rocket go to seed, and I think that's the remains of the parent plants. But it's given me all these microgreens that I can just grab and throw into my salad. Well, my mix is almost done. All I need to do is grab a few more lettuce leaves. All of these lettuce plants, and there's heaps more coming up here, are all a result of just shaking some plants that had gone to seed into your garden. If you don't want the plants there, you can just pull them out. But I haven't had to nurture any seedlings, and I've got a beautiful crop of lettuce coming up really easily. These are still quite young plants, so I'm not going to grab much of each, maybe just a leaf off a few of these plants. Well, that's another great harvest. I'm going to head into the house with it now, make some lunch. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.